not dependent on anything. It is an independent variable because I have directly collected from, I have, for example, if it's not Google Form, suppose I go to 10 buildings, each building has 50 houses, suppose. I go to 10 buildings and each building has 50 houses, 50 flats. I go to all these 50 flats in this 10 buildings and I collect their income value. I may collect their name or I may collect some information and also I collect the income value. So that means I have gone, you have personally gone to someone and you have collected the value of the income. 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, you have collected it. So this variable is an independent variable. It is not dependent on anything. You have gone and you have directly collected the value. Okay, so then such variables, the one that you circulate a Google form, the one that you collect by going to the going down to the person and collecting the information. You all know what is survey. People come to your residential area, they collect, you know, how they take census. During election, you know what details they take. So they come to your house and they collect the data. So the data that is collected in that manner and stored in a variable, such variables are called independent variables. Now, using this income, I am going to calculate the happiness of that person. Income I have collected. Using this income, I am going to calculate the happiness of that person. So this becomes the dependent variable. This is independent variable. Okay, this happiness is dependent on the income of that person. So this happiness becomes the dependent variable. Income is the independent variable. Now let us go to this equation. So this, the x value is the independent variable. So whatever is there on to the right of the equal to symbol, you are given the m value, the slope and the y-intercept. I can calculate y. This y is the happiness or the dependent variable. This is dependent on the value of x, the value of m and the value of c. Okay. So this x is the independent variable and y is the dependent variable. Did everybody clearly understand what is dependent variable and what is independent variable? The definition, I mean, whatever I have explained with an example, this will not change. This is the actual way to understand what is dependent variable and what is independent variable. Did everybody understand? Now, the moment you see an independent variable anywhere, with reference to any context, when you are reading some information, you get to see independent variable. You get to see dependent variable. It will immediately strike you what it is. Okay, so did everybody understand what is dependent variable and independent variable, students? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Others, please. Those who are there in the
Yes,
meeting, will you please tell me whether you have understood? Yes, please unmute and tell me, everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
4 of them said
Yes,
yes.
ma'am.
5. 5 of them said yes. Okay, so now we'll read the definition again. Okay, so you all know your, I mean, in interpolation, what you do, you know. Okay, you have x and y column. Some values are given, some values are given. X also a value is given and you are asked to find y. Okay. So now you are asked to find y given an so this x is the independent variable and this is a dependent variable. Now we read the definition. Interpolation is a technique of estimating the value of the function. This one. for any intermediate value of the independent variable. Now this intermediate also plays a role. Okay, intermediate, I'll tell you what it is now. Okay, now is it clear, students, what is independent variable? Did you understand this? I'll tell you what is intermediate also. So I'll tell you what is intermediate and then we'll read this definition again. Now for this best example is you can take the census. I always feel while teaching interpolation the best example for you all to understand is census. Okay, so for example, there was a census taken say in the year 1800, then in the year 1850, and then in the year 1900, then in the year 1950. Of course, it is not like this. It is being taken mostly every 5 years. Okay, so then you have 2000. Then you have 2022. Suppose now the current year. Okay, suppose it's not like this. Just an example, and you all know what is census. Okay, the count. I mean, the members in the family, they keep track of that. Of course, now you all know how the population has been done is they keep track of the death rate and the birth rate, and that is how the per second birth rate and death rate is being recorded, and then you get the count of the population. Okay, so the census is the complete detail of the humans, I mean the citizens of India. So that is what is census. The complete detail is being taken. You can see people coming home and then it is being taken. So, or nowadays everything is online, digitalized. So census, you don't see people coming home. So now here some population count is there here. Now assume it was in lakhs in the beginning and it is now in crores. Okay. So now we go for, I'm just giving you some small numbers. Assume it is in lakhs or crores. Okay, for example, say this was say 50 or say 100, so let us say 50 lakhs. Okay, now this is 1 crore and this is 2 crore, or say 1.5 and this is 2 crore. Okay, then it is say 5 crore, and now I think it is so let us assume some difference is there. Okay, so today I don't know what is the count. Okay, so let us assume it is 1 billion or something. Okay, let us assume it's like that. So this is the census which is there. Now this is given to us, this value is given to us. Now I want to know what would have been the population, say 1870. In the year 1870, I want to know what is the population. So your x becomes 1870. Using a formula of Newton in forward interpolation, I'm going to find the population in 1870. So now I come back to this definition. Okay, this is a situation. So interpolation is a technique of estimating the value of a function for any intermediate value. Now did you understand what is intermediate? I have taken a value between the values that's already given to me. Suppose I want to know the census, I want to know the population say in 2020. It is in between. I want to know the population say in 1980. It is in between. I want to know the population say 1810. It is in between. So hope you all know what is intermediate. Intermediate value of independent variable. What is your independent variable? 1870 is intermediate independent variable. All the x values. 1810 is independent variable. 1980 is independent variable. 2020 is independent variable. Then it is called interpolation. Now, suppose you want to find the population in say 1750, or you want to find make an assume. I mean, what will be the population in 2050? Suppose you want to know. It is out of the range that is being given here. it is out of the range that is being given here, then it is called extrapolation. Then it is called extrapolation. Did everybody understand what is interpolation and what is extrapolation? Everyone. Is it clear? Now we go for the theory.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, everyone. Now we'll go for the conventional style of studying, that is applying the formula and writing the code. Is it clear, everybody? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
One in the meeting. Is it clear? How many are there now? 35 of you. 35 of you, did you understand? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Otherwise, I have to call out names, but then that becomes, Okay, let me first explain and finish, then I will ask. Okay. So now the definition is over. Now it's this is all the concepts of Newton. I mean, how we are going to find it. So you are going to go for forward differences. That's why the name forward interpolation. So how many methods you have studied under interpolation? Or at least it was mentioned in theory. Can someone tell me?
3 methods.
What are they?
Forward, backward, and Lagrange.
Yes, forward, backward, and Lagranges. So you have forward also, you have backward also, you have Lagranges also. Okay, so you have Lagranges also. So the same three things we will study here. Okay, so these are the different interpolation methods that have been that will be discussed by me also for the coding. So forward differences is you go for y1 minus y0. y0 is your first value. You go for y1 minus y0, y2 minus y1, y3 minus y2, like that it goes on till the last value minus the last before value. You find that, and that becomes your dx. Dx0, dx1, or when you are doing it manually, you call it as delta y0, delta y1, delta y2. So here we cannot write delta, so we say d. Okay, so d stands for delta. So we'll be using d. That's all here. When we are writing the code, we'll be using d. Delta stands for difference. So this denoted by delta y0, delta y1, delta y2, delta yn minus 1. And all these are called the first forward differences. Why first forward? Why is the word first forward differences? Why is the word first used? You will find the difference between these two also. Delta y1 minus delta y0 also you will find. So that becomes delta squared y0. So that becomes the second forward differences. So that is why the name first, second, third, and there is a limitation to find. The moment you find one value, then you cannot find a difference. Okay, the moment you find a single value, after finding the differences in each step, first you will find delta y, then you will find delta squared y, then you will find delta cubed y, then you will find delta power 4y. Now where will you stop this? So till where you will go on finding differences? The moment you find a single value, suppose delta power 4y has a single value, now you cannot find any difference because you just have a single value. So you stop. Okay, so that is where you will stop. So this is in general. Okay, so I have only shown first forward difference here. I mean in the theory part. Now, of course, I'll be solving a problem I'll not be manually finding out the values and all. The values will be already there. I will tell you how we have to code it. That is our main intention. 1 second. बाबा लेक्चर कभी है लेक्चर कभी है देखो अरे हाँ धीरे okay fine so now we apply the formula so this is the formula you all have used students this is the formula you all have studied just cross check with your notebook have I made any mistake in writing the formula yeah it's your turn to check whether the formula is correct students hello good morning check and tell me are you all checking
Yes, ma'am. Similar.
this is the formula
Yes, ma'am. It is correct.
okay so now we have to code this completely so we need y naught we have to calculate p we need delta y naught then we need delta squared y naught so how many ever whatever as per our data okay we may stop say at delta power 4 y naught okay so let us anyway while coding I'm going to show you that also so this is your general table this is how your table looks okay so you have x0 you have y0 x1 x2 x3 y1 y2 y3 and how are you getting x1 x0 plus the interval h is the interval so x0 plus the interval you get x1 x1 plus h you will get x2 and x2 plus h you will get x3 like that or it can be written like this also x0 plus h or x0 plus 2h or x0 plus 3h or x0 plus 4h like that it goes on and you have y0 y1 y2 y3 y4 y5 so like this it goes on now the difference between these two will be your delta y naught the difference between these two will be your delta y1 the difference between these two will be your delta y2 like that goes on difference between these two will be your delta squared y naught the difference between delta squared will be your delta cubed the difference between your delta cubed will be your delta power 4 the difference between delta power 4 will be your delta power 5 so I stop here I cannot go for delta power 6y because you have a single value so this is where you stop okay so this is how in general this is just the table that is being formed now we'll be using only in the case of Newton forward we'll be using these values or we'll be using these values which values will I be using
The above.
the one that you are seeing here okay so this is for when will we be using this below
Backward.
one
Backward.
backward. Okay, so or the action working. Okay, so here the coding starts. Not so first we are going to use this example. I'm going to execute for this example. So you have the degrees and the sine theta values. So your the degrees is going to be your x values, the sine theta is going to be your y value, and you're going to find for sine 52. You have to get the output as this. Okay, so you'll be checking this after writing the code, and also you will check with the data you have executed, I mean, in the theory lecture, whatever data you have, you will execute and see. You must get exactly what you have calculated manually. Okay, whatever you have got after calculation, after calculating manually, it should match with the code after executing the code. That is your duty to check. Okay, so now how do we initialize these values? So in Scilab you have array. So you all know what is array. Yes, students, you all know what is. Have you worked with array in Scilab? Have you worked with array in Scilab? I need immediate answer.
Yes, ma'am, for matrices.
Okay, no problem. Here we are going to work with 1D. Okay, so here you will have only one dimension value, no two dimension. Okay, we are not going for two dimension. We go for one dimension. So this is just a 1D array. You're going to go for 1D array. So array, you know why we use array, because you have contiguous memory is used for storage, so that if you know the first, now for example, even if you just know the name of the array, for example, A is the name of the array, the name itself will give me the first value, for example 10. So I can access this. I don't know whether you have done pointers in C. Pointers was discussed in C language.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So when you say A, when you say asterisk A, you will get the first value. And when you say asterisk A plus 1, you will get the second value. It's nothing but A plus 0 is the first value. And A plus 1 will give me the second value. A plus 2 will give me the third value. A plus 3 will give me the 4, like that it goes on. Okay. So this is the actual use of arrays. Okay, so when you are using pointers, why that is happening is because the address that you are using, suppose 1001 is the first address, then this is 100. Now of course if it is character, this will be 2. If it is integer, if integer is occupying 2 bytes, then the next, when you say plus 1, it will be 103. Okay, if it is float, it will be 1 plus 4, so it will be 105. So that is dependent on what is the data type. So the beauty of array is that contiguous memory location is used to store the data. Whereas if suppose you want 5 or 6 data to be stored, if you declare it as int a comma b comma c comma d comma e, then in the memory, in your RAM, it will be stored here and there. Okay, it will be stored here and there. So if you want to access these 5 values, you have to use these variable names, 5 different variable names. But instead, you store it in contiguous memory location. You just have to use A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, A of 3, A of 4, A of 5 in simple manner. Or while using pointers, you just have to use asterisk A plus 1, asterisk A plus 2, asterisk A plus 3. Or if you are putting it inside the loop, it will be asterisk A plus I, finished. So you are able to access all the values. And the same thing if you are using a for loop here, it will be A of I, finished. So you are able to access all the values inside the loop. Just one statement, you are able to access all the. You are just using one variable name A, whereas here you are using 5 different variable names. Okay, so that is the beauty. That's one thing. Another beauty is contiguous memory location. Okay, so just you need an index, whether you use pointers or you don't use pointers, you just need an index value. Okay, that's all. You can access the value. So this is the basic of arrays. I'm sure you all know this, so that I don't in detail. Okay, this was done already. Okay, so here also we'll be using array. So x is equal to, this is the value you see here, 45, 50, 55, 60. So it's been assigned. In Scilab, you have to do it this way. Square bracket, you can give all the values. Okay. And the same way, the y values, all these values, you see it is being given over here. Okay. You please don't take screenshot now. I'll be showing you a slide of which you have to take a screenshot. I have all the code written in one slide. You have to take a screenshot of that. This I'll be posting when once I finish all the interpolation, I'll be posting this PowerPoint in your in the file section of numerical and statistical methods. Okay. These two are clear. These two statements are clear, everybody. Hello. Are these
Yes,
two
ma'am.
statements clear? I want you to stop me if it's not clear. Okay. Now we are going to find, you know the formula. What is the formula? In this formula, you have p value. You have this p value. What is this p value? Can someone tell me the formula for p value?
X minus x0 upon h.
What is that x? X minus x0 upon h. What is that x? What is x0? What is h?
Which we want to find.
Hmm?
Which
So
points we
here,
want to find.
so as Sweetie said, it is x minus x0 upon h. So h is the interval between these two. Okay? Yes or no? So h is going to be 5. Okay? Now, what is x0 and what is x? Yeah, what did you say, Sweetie? What is x?
The points, the the point which we want to find, the value of
The
y.
point which you want to find. The point which you want to find. So for us, it is 52. I'm going to find
Yes,
value of
ma'am.
sine 52 we have to find. So this is 52. Now what is x0?
The initial value,
What is the initial value here in the table?
45.
Huh? 45. Okay. So now we have to set up this in the code. So we have done, you have understood what is this. Okay, you have understood what is this. You have understood what is this. So I need x0, you see here, x of 1. Okay, so here in Scilab, the index starts from 1. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. In Scilab and in R language, the index starts from 1. In all the other languages, index starts from 0. Okay, you can blindly record it in your, you can register it in your mind. In all the other languages, index starts from 0 for an array. But in Scilab and in R language you will be studying in semester 4. So in our language, the index starts from 1. Okay, so here in Scilab also it starts from 1. Where is my cursor? So it starts from 1. So here the x0 is nothing but the first value. So x of 1. So 45 is stored over here. Next, this x we are taking as x2. Why we are not taking as x? Because x is already an array. So I am not taking as x. I am taking it as x2. So that is 52. Then h is the interval, that is 5. Now I apply the formula and I get p. So instead of x, I have used x2. Okay, minus the initial value, that is x of 145 divided by 5. I get the p value. Is it clear, everybody? Did you all understand, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Others.
Yes, ma'am.
Please understand. You want me to repeat? I will repeat. Then the rest of the things are very complex. This is the simplest part.
Ma'am, why is x given as x2 here?
Why is x? That is your choice. Now you can give. I cannot use x because x is already an array.
Okay,
Okay, I
ma'am, but
cannot
even
use.
x2 is an element right here.
Uh-huh.
55. So
What is
then
it?
even x2 will be 55 degree here, right?
No, x of 2. Like this you have to give for 55.
Okay, ma'am.
This is x of 1. This is x of 2. This is x of 3. This is x of 4. You know, in C language, how do you access an array? A of 1. You remember? A of 0.
Yes, ma'am.
A of 1. That's how you access, is it not? Here you are using a parenthesis, this bracket. You are not using a square bracket. Only for initializing an array, it is a square bracket. Whereas in C, for initializing an array, you are using a flower braces. You remember? In C, it is flower braces. But accessing the element, you are using square bracket in C. Okay, but here, for initializing the array, you are using a square bracket. For accessing the element, you are using parenthesis. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
In C language, you will do it like this. A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. You will initialize it like this. Flower braces or curly braces you will use. But here you are using square bracket. That's the only difference when compared to C language. Yes, any other doubts, students? Please open up. You can ask any silly question. Please don't bother about your classmates and all. They also don't know. Okay, so please don't think they know everything. No, they are also learners. Okay, they are also learning along with me as I am teaching. Some of them grasp it fast, some of them do not grasp it fast. It is okay, no problem at all. Each human being is different. So anything, any doubt you have, please ask me. You please don't bother what will others think or what will I think. Okay, please don't bother about all that. Any silly, you feel it is silly, please do not feel it is silly. You can ask me. I will explain. No problem. Okay, so x2, this is a variable, this is a variable, this is a variable, this is also a variable. But this is accessing the array elements. Okay, this is accessing array elements. Okay, students, is it clear? Shall I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Shall I proceed? Okay, so you're calculating the p-value. Now we have to get so many other things, okay? You have, in this formula, you have, so we have got p now. And you know y naught is nothing but y of 1. That is also there with us. Now we need delta y naught, delta squared y naught. Okay, so we have to calculate factorial. You have to multiply p into p minus 1 once. Sometimes you have to multiply p into p minus 1 into p minus 2. So all these things have to yet to be done. Okay, so let us see that. So first, this is the data we saw in the previous slide. Okay, we have the solved part here. So we'll be using these values only, but how to use in the code? So this is there in the two arrays. Okay, so we have this in X array and this is there in Y array. Okay, now we need this one. So I told you we are going to use the D. We're going to use the array named as D. Okay, so now this D, when you're calculating this, what should I use D1, and when I calculate this I use D2, when I calculate this I use D3. I'll tell you now. Okay, so all these Y values are there already. I have so I'm not messing up with my writing also. Already I have written it. So these are your Y values. So this is your Y of 1, Y of 2, Y of 3 and Y of 4. Did everybody understand? Every step I will ask you whether you have understood and then I proceed forward. Okay, so this is your Y values as per what we saw in our previous. Okay, here we have set up this as Y values. So this is in terms of 0.70. For easy calculation, they are multiplying it by 10 power 4. So you will get the value as 7071. Okay, so that is, please don't get confused with that. So here it is 0.7071. For easy calculation, we are converting it into 10 power You see here 10 power 4 y, 10 power 4 delta y, 10 power 4 delta squared y, 10 power 4 delta cubed y. We have multiplied by 10 power 4, so we get 7071. Okay, students, so these are your y values. Is that clear, everybody? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we have to find the difference between y1 and y2. We have to find the difference between y1 and y2. We have to find the difference between y1 and y2. That's our next step. The code for that. Okay, so we'll see the code. We are going to use D1 array for this. We'll be using D2 array for this. We'll be using D3 array. You have to create an array because you have 3 values here, you have 2 values here, you have 1 value. You're going to store the difference also in an array. Now, what is this? Of course, when you are doing it, you have to use for loop. I is equal to 1 colon 3. Okay, so now y1 colon 3, not y1. You have 4 values, so why not 4, 1 colon 4? You will understand it in a minute. Okay, so now d1 of I, that is d1 of 1, is nothing but if I is equal to 1, y2 minus y1. But I is equal to 1. So y of I plus 1 will give me y2. So y2 minus y of I is nothing but 1. Y2 minus y1. Okay, is that clear, everybody? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this will go on. I'm finding the difference and I'm going to store it in d1 of 1, d1 of 2 and d1 of 3. Running the loop 3 times. So you see here how many times the loop is running? Only 3 times. That is why you have given 1 colon 3. Is it clear, everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone, I want you to answer, please, whether you have understood. Please unmute and say, when I'm demonstrating it like this, I will not go to Teams and I will not. Of course, I can go, but I don't want to get disturbed. I can go like this, it is possible. But I want you to say yes or no, whether you have understood. Only then I will proceed forward. Otherwise, I will start from the beginning again. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am. It is.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Hmm? Others, others. Neha, Carefully, Tanmay, Shweta, all these people are there. Supreet, Ashalakshmi said.
Yes, ma'am. I'm yes.
Raghu, Chirag, Dania Khan. Okay. So now this is done. So this part is done. So this is the code for that. Next, the next code. So you see here it is 3 because you have 3 values to be calculated. Now here you see 2 because you only have 2 values to be calculated. In this you are storing in a different array, say D2. But for this D2, you have to use D1. That's why it is D1 of I plus 1 minus D1 of I. Is it clear, students, everybody? Okay, so I go for calculating the difference of these two and I store it in D2 array. Is it clear, everyone? Did you all understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so here you only have 2 values to be calculated. That is why you have written I is equal to 1 colon 2. So first time it will be d1 of 1 plus 1, that is d1 of 2 minus d1 of 1. So these two are, the difference is taken and then you store it in d2 of 1. My square, the difference is between the numbers. I have not shown between these two. Okay, I have shown it between the numbers. The difference is stored in d2 of 1 and d2 of 2. That is done. Now you have to find this, another loop. So you say for I is equal to 1 colon 1 because you only have one value to be calculated. For D3, your input is D2. Whatever you have in D2, that has to be taken. So D2 of I plus 1 minus D2 of I. and the value is gone. Did everybody understand these three loops? Anybody has now, it's better to ask, how many of you did not understand? I don't know which count is more. Can you raise your hand if you have not understood? I will teach again. How many of you did not understand? Please raise your hand so that I will teach it again. And please wake up and listen. It's very important. All have understood? Very good. Okay. So this part is over. Now we'll be using all these for our calculation. So we are going to store for the calculation. We are going to store this as in an array D. Okay, here it is D1, D2, D3. We are going to create a new array D and you are going to store this value first. We need only the first value. This is already there in y of 1, so you need not bother. But you have to store 589, you have to store minus 57, you have to store minus 7. So how do I store this? So I store this in a new array D. The first value will be 589. The second value of the D array will be minus 57. The third value of the D array will be minus 7. Okay, like this I store the value. So that we'll do in the next slide. I have again copy pasted it. The formula also I have pasted. So this is also done and I am also storing what is happening. Okay, so D of 1 is D1 of 1, D of 2 is D2 of 1 and D of 3 is, now we have to apply the formula, the code for the formula. If it was offline, I would have asked you to write. I never give this formula. Offline, I make students do it by themselves and they come out. Each one come out with a different logic actually. So that is, I will only teach you one logic. Students will come up with different logic. That's how it should be. A teacher cannot teach you programming. Always please remember, a teacher cannot teach you programming. A teacher can only guide you with logics, with a single logic for a problem, for a statement. The teacher will guide you with a single logic. Now you have to think in different ways. Okay, so each student will think differently and I used to get at least 10 logics from the students. Okay, so you can apply and they apply their own logic. I will write my logic on the board. That is how it used to be in offline practical. So, but now since it's online, I have to give one logic of mine. Means I cannot ask you waste, waste time in the sense I cannot ask you to write and then you share. Of course, I can do all that. But since limitation of time, I'm not doing it. Okay. So, here only forward will be a problem for you. Backward, you will do it by yourself. Lagrange is also a little small. It is not a problem actually. I mean, you will understand it once I explain, you will understand. Okay, it's not an issue at all. So now we are going to apply this formula. You know this is a loop. Okay, you know this is nothing but it's a kind of a loop. In each loop you have to execute this part. Okay, so let us see how. Now we need these values. In each of the term we need these values. Okay, so these values are in D of 1. This is D of 2 and this is D of 3. You can easily connect it to here. Okay, so you see delta y naught, it is in D of 1 and this is delta squared, it is in D of 2 and this is delta cubed, it is in D of 3. Okay, so this is how it is placed. Now we have to coin up these terms in this p into p minus 1 by 2 factorial, p into p minus 1 into p minus 2 by 3 factorial. This we want. Now this we cannot write the formula exactly here. You cannot. You have to write it in a loop. This has to be automatically generated. Okay, this has to be automatically generated. So the whole formula has to be automatically generated. The code should be written in such a way that if I go for, of course, the D1 array, D2 array and D3 array are hard coded. What do you mean by hard coded? You are writing the code for calculating d1, I mean, you suppose if it is 4 values, you will write 3 loops. Suppose if it is 5 values, you will write 4 loops. Suppose if it is 6 values, you will write 5 loops. All that you have to do. Only this part, applying the formula, is automated. Okay, automated in the sense it comes automatically because of the loop. Okay, so calculating the values is hard coded by us, means we are purposely writing code. We cannot automatically form 3 loops if it is 4 values given. We cannot automatically form 5 loops if 6 values of x and y are given. We cannot do that part. Okay, so, I mean, I'm not going to teach you that part. We are going to hard code it. Okay, so that we are not doing automatically. We have written the code for this. We have written the code for this. We have written the code for this. Okay, so we have written the code in the sense. What do you mean by hard code is, if suppose I go for a new set of value, I have to write the code again. Okay, suppose I go for new set of value, I have to write the loops again. 1 second. Huh? Payment. Students, I just need 10 minutes. Okay, hello.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Shall I start? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. So now we have to design the code for applying this formula. Okay, so first we store these first values in the D array. That is the first step. Okay, we store the, let me erase all this. So we store the first values in the D array. If you see here, D1 of 1, then D2 of 1, and D3 of 1. We store it here. Now, if it is for backward, what you will do is you will store D1 of 3, D2 of 2, and D3 of 1. You will store for backward because you are going to use these values. So that's why I said you can write the code by yourself for backward. Okay, so that's the only change that you will, not only that change, of course, formula also you have to change. So the first step is over. So we have got the delta y naught in the formula. We have got the delta squared y naught. We have got delta cube y naught. So those three are there here. Now we need the first value, y naught. Okay, you start off with the first value. Now, if you all remember the famous style of writing sum of, any expression is given sum of s is equal to s plus the expression. Okay, so this s usually we assign to 0, and then whatever is the expression, for example, sum of natural numbers 1 plus 2 plus 3. Suppose you want to find first 10 natural numbers 1 plus 2 plus 2 till 10. You will say s is equal to s plus I. You will start the loop for I is equal to 1 to 10. You will write the for loop, and then you'll write s is equal to s plus I, and outside the for loop you will print s. You will get the sum as 55. Okay, so that is how you do. Now this s, and here s is equal to 0, we have assigned because we know that the first value is 1 and the next value is I plus plus. Whatever is I plus plus, that will only come over here. But here such a pattern is not seen. You cannot go for just saying s is equal to s plus I. We know the first value is y naught. First value is y of 1. Okay, this is your y of 1, y of 2, y of 3, y of 4. So the first value here, instead of s is equal to s plus, and instead of writing s is equal to 0, what we are going to write? S is equal to y of 1. You're going to write this as s is equal to y of 1. Okay, because the first value is y0. So this is your y of 1. This is your y of 2. This is your y of 3. And this is your y of 4. Okay, so you're going to do it like that. That is what you see in the code. I'm sure you have understood. I mean, you've seen the code already, and you see it as, since you're finding the f of x value, we have just written as fx is equal to y of 1. The first value we have written. Now the rest should be sum of. We have to find the sum. Okay, so here we also need in each expression, this is p by 1 factorial. This is p by 2 p into p minus 1 by 2 factorial. This is p into p minus 1 into p minus 2 by 3 factorial. Okay, so we need the factorial also. So for factorial in Scilab, you have a ready-made, your built-in function, that is factorial. So we can write it that way. Now we have to form this expression. So how many times the loop will run? 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and stops. So now we are going to give here as 0 to 3. I'll tell you why 0 and not 1 to 3 a little in a while. Okay, so this part also you need. Now this part, if you see, it is product. So if it is sum, we say s is equal to 0. If it is product, we'll say p is equal to 1. And inside the loop, we will write for sum s is equal to s plus I. If it is product, we'll say p is equal to p into I, we write. Okay, so that's why this is initialized as 1 and this is initialized as 0. If we put this as 0, then all the products will be 0. That's why we put this as 1. But sum, you know, when you sum, it is 0 plus 1, so it will give you 1. So same concept, you're going to apply this also, you're going to apply this also, because this is sum of some series, and inside each term there is a product. Inside each term you have a product. So it is sum of product of. Okay. So it is sum of product of. So that is why you are using both S and P in our code. Is everybody with me? Hello? Is everyone with
Yes,
me?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now we have, so that is why first we have initialized y of 1 instead of 0, because the first value is y of 1. There is no p added there. So we have initialized it like that. For example, suppose you are asked to find 1 plus 2 by 2 factorial and plus 3 by 3 factorial. Like this, suppose you are asked to find. The initial value is 1. So here, instead of s is equal to 0, I will say s is equal to 1 only. Because I know the first value is 1. Then why should I initialize this to 0? Not necessary. Same way. The same thing, you compare it this here. So instead of this 1, you have y0. So that is what is initialized here. Instead of s, we have used f of x. That's all. Instead of s, we have used fx. That's all. Now the same thing, product. Instead of p, we have used p1. That's all. Hope it's clear, students. Now we are going into the loop. Okay, so now we are going into the loop. Hope the initializations are clear. For loop, why it is 0 to 3, I will tell you. Okay, hope it is clear. So I am now entering into the loop. The first term, we want this now. Okay, so P1 is already 1 into P of P into P minus I. The first case, we need only we need only P1. So if I need only P1, so P1 is nothing but 1 we have assigned, and here we need P, only P we need here. Okay. So when I say P, now the second term we need P into P minus 1. Okay, so if I say I is equal to 1, if I assume I is equal to, if I start I is equal to 1, it will be I minus 1. Okay, so it will be 1 minus, if I say P minus I, it will be P minus 1. Okay, but I need P minus 1 only in the second term. Okay, here I don't need P minus 1, I only need P. So I have written P minus 0. So this will be P. Okay, so this will be 1 into P. Okay, 1 into P. So I have got P. Is it clear, students? Everybody? Did you all understand what I'm doing here? I have shown the calculation for you. I have shown the calculation. So first f of that is there. I is equal to 0 first. I am only taking 0. So P1 is equal to P1 into P minus I. That is 1. We have assigned 1. 1 into P minus 0. So I've got P. So the first term is only P. Are you seeing only P over here, students? Everybody? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Others in the meeting? Did you understand what is happening here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we go for as we find. Now that you don't bother about this statement. Now I becomes 1. Okay. When I becomes 1, what is there in P1 already? P is there in P1 already. Wait, I'll show you with a different ink color. P1 is equal to 1 and I is equal to 0. Okay. Now P1 is equal to P1 into P minus 0 because it is I. Okay. This is nothing but equal to P. So I've got the first term. I've got this P. Now when I go for I is equal to 1, I need this one. P into P minus 1 I need. So I want to see this is framed, this has to be framed by us. Your brain should work for framing this. So that is called logic building. Okay, you have to frame this in such a way that this is happening. You get these terms. Okay, so here now when I is equal to 1, what will happen? Again the same thing. P1 is equal to P1 into P minus I. Now what is there in I? 1 is there in I. And what is there in P1 already? P is there. P into P minus 1. Did I get this term, students? Have I got this term? When I is equal to 1. Did I get this term? Everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Others?
Yes, ma'am.
Others in the meeting? Please listen to what is happening. Okay. So this is what I said. I usually ask the students to write the code. They come up with this logic. They will come up with different logic. Okay, I am just teaching you one logic. That's all. This has to be framed by you. Only then you will understand. Okay, but here I'm not in a position to ask you to write. Okay, so for that I don't finish this in one lecture usually. I take 2 lectures. I give students time so that only then the logic will be built. Otherwise, the logic is not going to be built within you. Okay, you will not develop logic in you. Only when you do it by yourself, you will develop logic in you. Okay, so this I am telling you this is the logic. Okay, here I am telling you this is the logic. So when I am telling you this is the logic, at least I have to take pains to make you understand how this logic will work for this formula. Okay, so that much at least I have to do. Now we go for this term. So for that I will be equal to 2 now. Okay, so I apply the same logic which I have written. P1 into P minus 2. P minus 2. Now what is there in P1? P into P1 is there. P minus 1 is there in P1. So P into P minus 1 into P minus 2. So I've got the third term also. Is it clear, students?
Yes, ma'am, it's clear.
For you it will be clear, sweetie. I want others to say. Yes. Others in the meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Others in the meeting, please say something. Whether you have understood, not understood. If you have not understood, I am teaching it again. That's all. Yes, students?
Understood, ma'am.
Students, raise your hand if you have understood. That much at least you can do, no? Raise your hand if you have understood. Raise your hand if you have understood. At least I'll be happy seeing the hands. Out of 41, 21 of you have understood. 20 of you. What about the 20 of you? You're there in the meeting or not there in the meeting? I doubt whether you are there in the meeting or not. Yes, Athar, carefully, you have not understood. Carefully, you are not there in the meeting, is it? See, ma'am, you have an exam today of soft skills, is it?
Yes, ma'am, from 6 to 7.
Who is teaching you soft skills now?
Manali teacher.
Huh? Manali.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Manali. Okay, fine. So, how many lectures of soft skills are over? 4. How many lectures of soft skills are over? From last Tuesday it started, no?
Six
No,
lectures.
ma'am, from Sunday.
Okay, from this
From last
Sunday.
Sunday, ma'am.
And from last Sunday. So you had daily 6 to 7.
Yes, ma'am.
From 6
We
to
Daily.
had
8.
6 to 7. Yeah, 6 to
To
8 till
8.
Thursday.
Oh God.
And then there was a last lecture yesterday.
Oh. 3 hours a day from last Sunday till yesterday.
There were 6 lectures in total, Sunday to Thursday and then yesterday.
Acha. No, 3 hours lecture you're saying, Ajil.
No, 2 hours lectures, 6
2
to
hours
8.
lecture.
Yeah, 6 to 8.
Someone said 6 to 8. 6 to 7, 7 to 8. Okay. Okay. Oh God. Hmm. But is it easy? Soft skills, is it easy for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am, it's easy.
Okay. Now you have a credit-based course for in this semester also. This is of semester 1. Now semester that is how it was put up to you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you have from your batch, it is there for SY also, it is there for TY also, apart from the 5 subjects that you have. And in FY, it is okay, it is less hours, but in SY and all, it is more hours, 30 hours, 45 hours, it's going to be like that in each semester. So please be prepared for everything. If it is offline, you can imagine maybe they will make this online, but whatever. Those who are traveling from far, you have to travel back home and then you have to attend the online lectures if it is so. Otherwise, if it is in college, no problem. Right from morning till evening, you will be in college. Okay, so be prepared for a hectic session hereafter. That is what I would like to warn you. And I know as a student, there is a limitation for listening also. You know, they say, psychologists say, a person, a human being can have utmost attention for 7 minutes. Beyond that, that person is forcing to sit and listen to whatever he is listening, he or she is listening. So you all know in what situation we are all in. Okay, it's not only you, we teachers also, everybody. So we have to, and we are in such a course that you miss something, you miss a lecture, so many things you are missing. Okay, so you know the importance of each and every lecture. You know how important it is to understand the concept, sit for a lecture and listen the lecture and understand the concept. Okay, so how much ever possible, please try to be present for the lecture and listen to the lecture and all that. Now in this particular context, I will not advise you to listen to your seniors, especially the immediate seniors. You can and I have there are certain students who there are chances for them to misguide you. Okay, because I have seen even in TY and SY, but I have very good students also in SY and TY who can guide you the best manner, because they attend lectures, they know the importance of attending lectures. And I usually only IP, when I teach imperative programming, I record lectures, because you are in the very first semester, I record lectures. The other semesters, I avoid recording lectures. The reason behind that is you have 5 subjects, and per week, if I only take theory, I'll tell you, you have 5 subjects, and 5 lectures for each of the 5 subjects goes on in a week. 5 into 5, 25 lectures. 25 recording is there in your in that particular team. And it's hard for me to believe that you are watching the recording. 25 recording per week, I'm saying, okay, and that is only theory. If the practical starts, another recording for each of the five subjects. So if each practical runs for 2.5 hours, so you will have a 2.5 hour recording for each. So that is 5 2.5 hour recording, and it is very hard for me to believe that you are watching the recording and understanding. All that is hard for me to believe. Now there are very sincere students who may do that. Okay, and unless and until the recordings are named properly with a heading, you have to watch every recording to see which topic is in which recording. That is another issue that you will be facing. Okay, so I will not, instead you come for the lecture and you listen to what is happening in the lecture. In my case, I post whatever I am teaching, how much ever detail I am teaching, except certain things which I am saying. The rest are there in the PowerPoint presentation. So I'll be posting all the material for all my lectures. I'll be posting material till semester 6. So you can see the post, and of course, if it's offline, there is no need of all that. But still, I will post because I'll be using the same PowerPoints to teach now hereafter. Since I am a teacher till these 2 years when it was on, till it was online. I can always, I think I am the only teacher who do not use PowerPoint presentation. I only use chalkboard or the marker pen and the whiteboard. I am the only teacher who's not comfortable with PowerPoint presentation, and I only use chalkboard or board. Chalk and board is my material for teaching. But since it was online, I was forced to use PowerPoint, and that is why I have made all these things, and I am teaching. So hereafter, I thought I will teach it this way only, even if it is online, even if it is offline. So what I'm trying to tell you is, even if it was offline, suppose if it was an offline lecture, the teacher teaches in the offline lecture, and there also there are few students who take down notes, there are few students who don't take down notes, and the lecture is over, the content is over, everything is over. Now that is not being recorded. If you are present in the offline lecture, you will listen, you will understand. If you are not present in the offline lecture, it is gone. Okay, so the same thing here also. Of course, I understand the network issue, but since you have been there now, you are in the this March, it is the second 2 years will be over. March 19, 2 years will be over after lockdown. You are at home since 2 years. So you are all now accustomed to the online lectures. You have had online lectures. So you know how to, prepare yourselves for the online lectures. Let us hope from June it will be offline lectures. So what I'm trying to say is, you please attend the lectures. Tell your friends also that attending lectures is very important, so that whatever the teacher says you understand and you work along with the teacher. Now, some people may be working along with me. You are typing it along with me in Scilab. That is also necessary. And what the teacher is saying, why this loop is there, why this variable is there, why the sentence is there, everything the teacher explains. So listening to that really makes a difference. Okay, even we teachers attend courses online, but it is not now. I was not in a position to see the recording and then learn. No, it was not possible. Even we have, after the course, we have an exam to give. It is not possible to download the recording and watch that and then you write down notes. Suppose it was day before yesterday's lecture, today you listen to the recording, you write down notes. It is quite difficult. I'm sure you all have faced that. I'm sure you are with me when I'm talking about all this. Yes or no, students? Are you all in the same situation? Or is it okay for you to watch recording? You pile up everything and you watch recording maybe just before 10 days before the exam. Is it okay? If you're daily watching the recording, even if you're watching the recording daily, you have 3 lectures minimum, 3 to 4 lectures minimum. Watching 4 recordings in a day is not easy. Is it true or not? Students, can you tell me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
It's true.
Is it true or not? As a human being, we have some capacity. We cannot go beyond that capacity. So that's why teachers are always, even if the teachers are shouting at you, it is for your good only. Please be present for the lectures. Now, you come here for attendance. Now, there are few students who just join the meeting for attendance. Now, that I cannot, no teacher can avoid all that. Okay, so no teacher can, taking actions in the sense what you go for the defaulters. Now, parents teachers meeting are going on. It's going on, isn't it? Parents teachers meeting. So we have taken the defaulters. Okay, so people who are joining the meeting don't come in defaulters. But are they listening the lecture? No. They just join the meeting because you have to join the meeting. They join the meeting. And the people who don't join the meeting come under defaulters and they are being fired. Those who join the meeting are not in the defaulters. But how many of you are listening to what is happening in the lecture? What is your takeaway in this 2.5 hours? What is the takeaway after this 2.5 hours lecture? That is more important for you, especially for you, IT and computer science students. Not only IT and computer science students, every child, anything, let it be arts, let it be science, let it be commerce, everything is important. Every degree is important. So what is your takeaway? So this is of just NSM practical. Like this, you have 5 subjects. So then what is the takeaway for this semester 2? What is your takeaway for semester 1? What is your takeaway for semester 3, semester 4, semester 5, semester 6? And finally, what's the takeaway for after completing your degree BSc IT? You please attend lectures with that intention. That is what you have to do. See, I can easily stop. There are so many ways to have control over students, not joining the lecture if they don't, if suppose they are not attending, say, now almost 3 or 4 practicals is over and I see few of them not joining. I can stop them from joining. I can take many actions online also. But that is not my aim. Attendance is not what I am least bothered about people coming for lectures for attendance. I am not for that. You come here to study, to understand concepts, not by hearting. Understand concepts. Those who are good at by hearting, that's a boon given by, you're all blessed. I am also one among the students who cannot, they cannot learn without understanding. They have to understand to learn. I am also one among them. So when you have to, please, I am taking out some time to tell you all, just because you should know the seriousness of attending lectures. That's very, very important. Is it clear, students? Hello?
Okay, ma'am.
Are you all listening to what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am. We listen.
Yes, ma'am, we are listening.
Okay. Oh, fine. So, so is this part clear? This one is clear, everybody? This line.
Yes, ma'am.
I
Cleared.
explained this line. Now, there were 20 of them who did not raise their hand, but they are not saying anything also. So, I don't know what to do. So, as I told you, you're always welcome to message me personally. And suppose when you take the screenshot and you are typing, you have some issue, you can always message me personally. Okay, and you can ask me why this is here, why this is there, all that you can ask me. I will explain. I will usually give a voice message explaining the concept. That is better. So so that you will at least you will feel like I am talking to you. So you can ask me anything, any doubt, anywhere, any concept that I'm explaining. You are when you are working in Scilab, any doubt hereafter till Sem 6, whenever if I'm taking a subject, you have any doubt, any time in the evening, suppose late night you are asking me, I may answer next day morning, but I will give you an answer. Please, please feel free to message me and ask why this is happening, why that is like that, why this is like this. You can ask me anytime if you are not comfortable asking in the meeting. Okay, so that you are welcome for that. Now we go forward. So this one is done now. This is done. This is done. This is done. This one is also there in the array. Okay, all this is there. Now we have to just coin up these expressions. Okay, we have to just add up these expressions. Also add this factorial of. That's all. Only that much is left. So we start. Fx. What will fx have? We have already given this y of 1. So what is that y of 1? 7071 will be there in fx already. Okay. Now, so this is the first term. Okay, so that's already there. Plus P. We have calculated P. Where is this P? It is in P1. Okay, it is in P1. And all these terms are in P1. So P1 divided by factorial of. Okay, so we have to find factorial of what? We have to find that. Okay, so we have written fx 707, the first value, fx is x of y of 1. Okay, so this is y of 1. Let me not write it in terms of numbers. Let me write it in terms of the formula itself. Okay, let me write it in terms of, oh, sorry. Okay, so here, this fx is, shall I write it in terms of this formula so that it is easy for you to understand? This is y0. Okay. Now what is this? D of I plus 1, I is 0. 0 plus 1, so it is D of 1. Okay, so D of 1 is D1 of 1. Okay, please understand, this is D of 1 and this is D of 2 and this is D of 3. Okay, I have written it here. See here. Okay, I have written it here. So we write, this is what? Delta y naught. This is delta y naught. Now what is this? This is P. And what is this? Factorial of I plus 1, 0 plus 1, 1 factorial. Now are you able to connect this to this formula, students? This part is over. Is it clear, everybody? This
Yes,
is
ma'am.
P by 1 factorial. So how did I get all this? Y naught is y of 1 here. As per our code, it is y of 1. This is y of 1, no? This is y of 1. This is y of 2. It is not easy. Let me tell you, it is not easy. You have to concentrate a lot to understand. You have to concentrate a lot. So this is fx is nothing but y naught is nothing but y1. We have already stored y1. So that comes over here. Plus d of, we have started with 0. You know why we started with 0? Because I have shown this part. Okay, I showed you the execution of this part. We want first, we need only p. That is why we have written I is equal to 0. P minus 0 will give me p. That is why we have written I is equal to 0. Okay, hope that doubt is over. So 0 comes over here. But here I need delta y naught. Delta y naught is in d of 1. But I is 0. So I say 0 plus 1. So I plus 1. So it will be d of 1. So d1 of 1 is there. d1 of 1 is nothing but delta y naught. So that is there into P1. P1 has P because P minus 0 is P. So P is there in P1. So that's why P1 is written over here, divided by factorial of 0 plus 1, 1 factorial. Now this, if I repeat, when I is equal to 1, what will be there in P1? P into P minus 1 will be there in P1. Then I come down here. What is there in Fx? Y naught plus P delta Y naught is there in Fx already when I is equal to 0. So that plus D of 2. I is 1 now. 1 plus 1 is 2. D of 2 is what? This one. D2 of 1. This value is being taken. Minus 57. Into P1 will have P into P minus 1. Factorial of 1 plus 1, that is factorial of 2. So the second term is over. So like this it will go on. Is it clear, students, everybody? Did you all understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So when I I'll be giving you the screenshot so you can understand it better. So I've shown I've solved it here. I mean, I solved in the sense not manually solved it. I've shown you what are the values that will be taken for this particular data. Okay, I've shown you first P will be calculated. Then P1 will have P into P minus 1. And that will be substituted over here. Maybe I will show it for I is equal to 1 also. I'll show all these steps here. Okay, I can add that also. No problem. There is space. So I will add that also. Is it clear, students, everybody? So that's done. Now
Yes,
we line
ma'am.
up all the codes. And that's the next screen. Next screen is that. Did you all understand?
Yes,
We have
ma'am. We
applied the
understood.
formula. We have applied the formula. The answer is in Fx. We have applied the formula. The answer is in Fx. Okay, we will get the answer in Fx. Shall I proceed?
Okay, ma'am. Proceed.
It's always Sweetie who's saying, I want others to say something. So this is a screenshot you have
Yes,
to
ma'am.
take. Okay, this screen you have to take a screenshot. I have added all the codes I have put in one screen. The loops, which we saw in the third slide, then the final code. Now, the sign value is in Fx. So we say value of sign of. If you want, you can, if bracket if it is accepting bracket, please put bracket. It may create an issue when you put a bracket because print is a function, printf is a function. You can try. You use percentage I for integer, percentage G for float. Okay, use percentage I for integer, percentage G for float. So we have used percentage F also. You can use, this is for just high precision. So you can use percentage F also, you can use percentage G also. Okay, you can try. Please try from your level. Percentage D also you can try what is happening, you can see. Okay, so these are other format strings that are present. Okay, you can use percentage I also, you can use percentage G also. So I am trying to print value of sign 52. Where is this 52? It is here in X2. So I am printing X2 here. Is percentage G, that is Fx. So I have printed both. Is it clear, students? So you have to give the input value of sign 52. The output will be value of sign 52 is this. Okay? You can take a screenshot of this, everybody. Why I have put numbers is that the order you will write the code. Okay? Is it clear, everyone?
Okay, ma'am.
Everybody, is it clear? This is the order in which you will write the code. 1, 2, 3,
Yes, ma'am.
4 and 5. Because I taught it in bits like this, I have put it up in bits only. So that in each slide I have taught these bits of course. So I have put it in the same manner. Okay? Have you taken the screenshot?
Yes, ma'am. Done.
Ma'am.
Now you will type this in Scilab and you will see whether it is working. Okay? Forward and all I will teach later.
Okay.
You first finish with this, then I'll teach forward. Have you taken the screenshot? Shall I stop? Shall I come out of the PowerPoint?
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody? Okay. Fine. Now you can try this in your system. See, start typing. Maybe you will finish it. I'll ask you at 9:55. Now it is 9:30. Okay, 9:55. I will ask you how many of you have finished, and someone may have to share. Those are finished. Okay, students, you can start typing. Thank you. Please don't leave the meeting. Please be there in the meeting. I see people who have joined now, 42. So it was 41, it was 40, then it became 41, now 42. Okay, fine. There is one student who's, what is his name? His sister was my student. So that he will tell how I used to teach offline. Siddesh Gajengi. You're there, Siddesh?
Yes, ma'am.
Ah, you can ask your sister how I used to teach. I mean, she will never say, she will tell you I have never used PowerPoint presentation. You can ask her.
Okay,
Okay,
ma'am.
fine. Fine, fine. Please continue, students. And what to say? Please do not leave the meeting. 9:55. I will ask how many of you have finished. Okay, it's easy for you to type. It's a very small code. You can start, please. Yes, anyone could complete?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, almost done, ma'am.
Yeah, fine.
Ma'am, I have completed.
Okay. Ajil, you have completed?
Yes, ma'am.
Can share your screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Wait. Do try, those are finished, no? Try for some other value. Ajil, you share your screen. I made you the presenter, no?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Share your screen. Sweetie, you have finished, you said, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you try with some other value? With sir
Ma'am,
and so.
I tried.
You will share, when you share, you will show me that, no?
Yes.
Can you see my screen, ma'am?
Yes. Value of sine 52 is what I showed only you have, no?
Yeah.
What is that? 0.788003. That is what you have also got?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Now you can try for some value. Sweetie, you have it for the new value?
Yes, ma'am.
Then you please share your screen. 1 second. You will be in the, your name starts with N, no? Nadar Sweetie.
Yes, ma'am.
1 second. Nadar Sweetie. Okay. Yes. Share your screen. You are the presenter, right? You yourself can cross check because the range is given to you. You can cross check at your level also whether it is correct or wrong.
Ma'am, this you have taught that value, and this one is the sir's one.
Where? Show me sir's value.
Over here, 0, 1.
Okay.
And
X
X2
for,
is...
one second. You are finding for 4, na?
Yeah.
So it will be 4 will be outside the range, no? It should be beyond 31. What is the value you've got?
68.
Ah.
And 5 is 129. And I checked for 5 also. It's 129.
Yeah, see, check for a value, give a value, 1 second, give, show me the X value, give 1.5. Run it. It should be a value between 5 and 12.
Yes, ma'am. 7.37.
Yes, that's how you will check. You give a value within the range. Because, see, for 0 it is 4 and 1 it is 5. So if you give 0.5, you should get a value between 4 and 5.
Okay.
You can check like that. I mean, you will know whether you are on the right track just by checking like that. Okay.
Okay.
Don't go for extrapolation. Go for interpolation. Okay.
Okay.
Fine. Yes. Anyone else finished?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Aishwarya.
So A plus B into A minus B is
Yes, Aishwarya, you can present. So this practical you have to submit only when I complete Lagrange's. Okay. You just have it with you when I teach backward and Lagrange's. You can try for that also.
One second, ma'am. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
I have done with 54 and 47.
54.
Yes, ma'am.
54 should be some value between 760 and 819.
Minus
80 you have got. No, correct. And 47 will be between 7071 and 7660. Yes, 0.7. Correct. That's that.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else finished?
Yes, ma'am.
Who's that? Me, uh, Glory. I'm making you the presenter. Yes.
And that's my screen visible. Ma'am.
Working correctly?
Yes, ma'am.
My screen, I mean, your font is very small.
Ma'am, how to
You have tried for all the other values, no?
Yes, ma'am. I've tried. Yes, yes.
Okay. How to change the font? I taught you. No, it's not for your batch. It's for the other batch or what? I did not teach for your batch.
No, ma'am.
You can ask your friends also. Someone I saw increased font. Someone
Okay,
shared
okay.
just now. Who showed me an increased font just now? Someone was sharing and I saw an increased font. You have to go to the options and you see preferences. You want me to show?
No, ma'am. I'll ask someone.
Yes. If you're not getting it, let me know. Okay, students, it is 10 o'clock. Thank you. You can leave the meeting. We'll meet next Tuesday. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Bye, ma'am.
Yeah.
Bye.
Sir. Someone is calling me,
Bye,
ma'am.
ma'am.
You're saying thank you, ma'am. Yes.
No, ma'am. Bye, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. You can be. I think PTM is also there. I see some PTMs coming up.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. Can you?
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, bye, bye.